It's now about 10 minutes since we were informed that the police were told about us being here, about the state troopers. The state troopers were informed that we were here about 10 minutes ago. What?
You take the whole thing.
I know many of you have been involved in the development.
Jim Intro, the Governor's Deputy Secretary for Health and Medicaid, and Clarence Sundrum, the Governor's Special Advisor on Vulnerable Persons. Mr. Intro will start today's program, providing us with an overview of what Governor Cuomo will be publicly announcing later today. Then we will hear from Mr. Sundrum his thoughts on what today's announcement means for all New Yorkers. Following their remarks, there will be an opportunity for questions and answers with all of you and the commissioners who are here today. Now please join me in welcoming Deputy Secretary Jim Intro.
The governor, in developing this program, wanted to make sure that we understood that our first audience was indeed the consumer. And before the governor releases this program to the public, he wanted to have this opportunity to make sure that you were aware of what was happening today. For all vulnerable persons, that will protect them against abuse, neglect, and other dangerous conduct. It will provide fair treatment to employees upon whom vulnerable persons depend. Last year, there were over 10,000 allegations of abuse of New Yorkers with special needs and disabilities in state-operated, certified, or licensed facility. That number is not scientific. The system today is not characterized by good reporting. There's a different, as we will talk about, there's different definitions, but the point is there's a significant number of allegations of abuse made each year. The problems: abuse of vulnerable persons in care, the lack of independence in investigating allegations, employees not held accountable, providers not given consistent guidance, staff not trained in reporting responsibilities, and inconsistent laws and standards among the several agencies. Expectations are inconsistent, and in some cases non-existent, as to what constitutes abuse, what should be reported and to who should investigate and how, when law enforcement should be involved, what is the standard of proof, and what are the consequences. We need to work together to solve these problems, and we need to ensure the protection of vulnerable New Yorkers. What does the legislation do? It'll create a standard definition for abuse and neglect. It will create a justice center. It will implement proportional and progressive discipline, strengthen laws, consolidate background check functions, and promote transparency. Abuse and neglect includes physical, sexual, and psychological abuse, inappropriate use of restraints, use of aversive conditioning, obstruction of reports of abuse or neglect, unlawful use or administration of a controlled substance, and neglect. This legislation will create a new agency to be called the Justice Center. The Justice Center will have prosecutorial authority to take action against abuse and neglect crimes. A significant and historic step forward. It will create a register of individuals found responsible for egregious or repeated acts of abuse or neglect. It will operate a 24 central abuse hotline. It will absorb the functions of the CQC, including oversight.
I'm sorry, this is a public matter.
But it's a
And
private
will develop
event.
a code of conduct for workers.
It was an oversight
and
that we were left
standards
out.
for
We're the one
investigation.
people, we're the group of
Were you
people.
on the list?
Lauren
You
Tenney?
should note that the protection and advocacy function.
I just didn't want to disrupt anybody because we're going to turn the
You're
equipment
disrupting
off.
this. I can't hear what he's
Will
saying.
be,
Okay.
I don't
And
mean
your
to be
name?
rude to you. Lauren Tenney.
Tenney, T-E.
N-N-E-Y.
So I don't have you on the list, man. So we can shut this down now.
The legislation will implement proportional and progressive discipline. It will distinguish between serious transgressions and repeated misconduct. that
You know, you're
warrants
preventing New Yorkers from being able to stop people who have disabilities from being abused. I don't, could you explain to me why? I'm a taxpayer in this state, and I deserve to know what's going on concerning how people are being handled, considering that this law that they're putting forth is wrought with full of abuses.
Okay.
They still are going to be using restraint and seclusion. They still are going to be forced drugging people. They're still going to be electroshocking people, electroshocking children. The abuse, I know.
Okay. Well, did you leave your name?
I just gave you my name.
Okay.
Commissioner Hogan asked me if I had a badge before I came in.
Okay. I'm sorry. And I know it was... First name?
Lauren, L-A-U-R-E-N.
And last?
Tenney, T as in Thomas, E-N-N-E-Y.
Okay, thank you. Tenney, we'll make sure you're on the list.
Well, if you're going to make sure I'm on the list,
Moving
then,
forward, this is what
well, I'm here right now.
You are?
I
Okay,
am.
I know, but this was an invite-only event.
I am a person.
Okay, I know, thank you. Can I have your name? Sure, Jim Clancy, C-L-A-N-C-Y. Thanks, guys, thank you.
That's Jim Clancy.
What?
That's Jim Clancy with, I think he's with, somehow with the governor.
Say how high, Cuomo says jump. Troopers say how high, Cuomo says jump. Troopers say how